Namaste, Namaskaram, Vanakkam, Namo Namaha, Jai Ganesha. Please visit our website at classicalyoga.org, and there's a donate button if you'd like to help us out. Life is creation. Creation is life. The beauty of words and the problem with words, and how many misuse the Sanskrit Hindu term Sanatan Dharma. Life, L-I-F-E. Life is forever eternity. We know that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It just transforms. Think for a moment when we're infants, first few years, maybe several years, maybe throughout most of our lifetime, we never even ask the question about who created all of this. Why? Because we're so immersed when we're young in just living life, in the pure existence that is life itself. As we further develop our mind and we learn that we can create things, we then naturally assume and ask the question, well, who created that and who created that? Which comes to the whole religious view of God or any deity as the creator. We naturally assume, well, somebody must have created all of this. Even if, for example, one accepts scientific understandings, they may ask, well, who created the energy that created the Big Bang? See, the problem is we are stuck in this mindset of limited creation, which we never had when we were infants and babies. We were just enjoying the rapture of creation itself. Therein lies the answer. Creation just is. Life is. From its most subtlest forms of apparent no-thingness to the multitudinous nature of life through this process of evolution, this revolving or spiraling, which is the definition of evolution, this revolution of evolution, obviously, a fact of life. We are evolving. We're being created, preserved, and destroyed. So with evolving can also come de-evolving. Through the law of entropy, as things begin to decay, and then once again refashion themselves. Seeking answers to the ultimate questions of life, why we are here, gave rise to the natural birth of using English, what we call religions. Remember, that comes from the Latin root religare, religio, meaning to bind or to link, just trying to figure out what holds things together, what links things together, what binds things together. In the specific languages of the world, for example, Sanskrit, which is the language of the Hindu religion, we use the word dharma, which comes from the root dri, meaning to hold, just trying to figure out what holds things together. So too with the Sanskrit Hindu word yoga, which comes from yuj to yoke, Y-O-K-E, trying to figure out what harnesses or yokes things together. This is really what we as humans endeavor to do. Therefore, the inevitable birth of all the religious traditions of the world. The problems surface when we try to make any one of these religions exclusive. And this harkens us back to what we call the Nat principle. Remember, from a balanced, mature point of view, one's way, and especially a religious way, is not the way, and it's not no way, but it's a way, N-A-T, in the middle. The beauty of religion is in its community and its people working together, helping each other. All beautiful, valid things within all the religions of the world. The downside, however, is in the attempt to make an anthropomorphic deity, the deity with the book. This is the monotheistic mindset, which we know as Judaism and Christianity and Islam, but that mindset can pervade any religious tradition, actually. There can be monotheists within Hinduism, for example, who think that Vishnu is the creator, or Brahma is the creator, or Shiva is the creator, Krishna is the creator of all things. Again, it's a very limited view where we have forgotten the very first premise of being immersed in the reality that life is forever eternal. This mistaken but understandable human search for the one deity has brought together whole communities, whole nations, but it's also wrought tremendous devastation. Just ask all the quote-unquote others. To our Hindu friends, wake up and don't assume that your deity is the deity that created all things. The very concept of Ishtadevata is finding one's chosen or valued spirit being that one feels very close to. Obviously, getting along in this material world is paramount, but to one degree or another, we all know of the inner worlds. Simply examine our dreams. Now, there are many who have intimate connections with the dream world and spirit beings within their respective religions. And a harmonious way to look at these experiences is, one, they can be great symbolic representations of life principles, how to live life. And one can have an intimate experience of a spirit being, but that is intimate. The problem comes in when we try to make that invisible deity to others requisite knowledge for all. In the Hindu Dharma, Hindu religion, we have innumerable spirit beings, which is simply a representation of the manifold nature that is life, material and spiritual. And one may look at these deities as simply works of art. Beautiful stone sculpture, wood carving, bronze casting. And obviously there's messages being portrayed here. There's a story behind the deities. Remember, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So the symbolism is very meaningful, and life is symbolism. We all partake in symbolism. We all have pictures of loved ones, for example. And third, the Hindu may have an intimate connection with one or more of these spirit beings. But again, this is where this must be very personal or shared with those of a like mind and never made as requisite knowledge for all. So for world harmony, one must recognize that their religious tradition is a way, it's not the way, and it's not no way or always, it's not a universal way. So the Hindus often use the term Sanatan Dharma, but this can be also misunderstood. It literally means, if we look at Dharma coming from Dri, to hold, and Sanatan is eternal, eternal holding, or in other words, just the recognition that life is, creation is. However, when we make that term Sanatan Dharma synonymous with the specific religion of Hinduism, we've made a mistake. Yes, Sanatan Dharma is a specific language, Sanskrit, the language of Hinduism, but the concept of eternal holding, or eternal tradition perhaps, some may say, and then equating that with the specific religion of Hinduism exclusively, is a fallacy. Likewise, if we misuse the term Sanatan Dharma, meaning that this is the universal principles that are actually found within Hinduism, that incorporate or embrace all other religions of the world, that too is a fallacy. In other words, the terms Sanatan Dharma should really be used to just understanding the wisdom of the eternal nature of life. Now, Hindus have a way of expressing that in very specific methodologies, as do all the religions of the world. And obviously, like all things in the world, some are more accurate, more profound at describing these principles, true, but nonetheless, they are all representing the different religious traditions of the world that attract like-minded people. When Hindus, for example, use the sloka Ekam Sat Vipra Bahura Vedante, This is often misconstrued that there is one truth, Hinduism, that there's one deity, one God, that manifests in innumerable names and forms. I don't think the rishis really meant this. Ekam Sat is a unified existence. In other words, creation. Creation just is. That assumes innumerable nam and rup, name and form. Again, avoiding what is essentially a fundamentalist mindset or a fundamentalist universalist mindset of claiming to have the one truth or the one way. Remember, in the monotheistic religions, just think, for example, of the following. So we have Yahweh and the Torah, and then we have God Jesus and the Bible, and then we have Allah and the Quran, Muhammad. So Yahweh bless, God Jesus bless, Allah bless, can create, and does, a man-made mess. It doesn't have to be a mess. We can follow a tradition without making it the tradition, or a universal tradition that embraces all the other traditions. And remember, as humans creating an anthropomorphic deity, this is a bit laughable. It obviously took this man a long time to figure out how to create something in his image. And good bet that the other animals have an anthropomorphic deity that looks like them. So what's the bottom line? Let's go back, way back, to childhood, infancy, to pure experience, which is just that. We don't even have to say anything, and that's what often lands us in a lot of trouble. So we need to be careful with the words that we use. Enjoy the pure experience of pure energy, a feeling of lightness, an inner light experience, an inner joy, and then all the manifestations of that. And then respect all those specific manifestations, those specific names and forms, and find out what works for you. As Joseph Campbell, the great mythologist, said, find your bliss. Find a tradition, find rules and regulations and rituals that work for you, that make your life meaningful. Avoiding becoming the very potentially dangerous fundamentalist, or equally extreme, the New Age universalist. That's where we get today's so-called yoga from, which actually comes from a misunderstood Sanatan Dharma by Hindus that think that their tradition is the universal one that absorbs everything else. Both are extremes. So, as the saying goes in Sanskrit, which is obviously the language of the Hindus, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuravarante, there is a unified, now using English, there's a unified consciousness, a unified existence, a unified experience of love and light and energy that manifests in innumerable name and form to be respected for their specifics. So live life. What else can we do? Well, we can go in and we can go out and enjoy this dance of creation, this eternal dance of life. Dance, prance, maybe into a trance, pirouette on our confusion, spinning it out of sight. Let us join hands and dance, round and round we go. Life is what we know. Or know not, who knows? Ka, the song of creation. Ajoti ajoti nirnama, nirupa varuna sarva, prana shakti dharma kasha, Tapaha svadhyaya Ishvara pranidana. Ka 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 hiranya garbha yato vachu nivatante aprapyas manasasa icha icha mana chita kaviyajna atma satya kayandriya siddheya sudhi kasya tapasaha tapaha svadhyaya ishvara pranidana. Karma bhakti raja jnana hatha mantra japa nada Hindu dharma yoga dharma Vedic dharma Hindu dharma. Darkness, darkness, no name and form, surrounded by ocean, primal Shakti from no thing, gave birth to heat, we sing. Who knows, who knows, who knows, who knows? Who knows the golden embryo? It's beyond the speech and mind, yet we seek it and we find. The seed of desire from the mind arose, so the poets from their hearts compose a way to purify body and senses. Tapaha svadhyaya ishvara pranidana. So we Hindus have chosen to follow this Hindu yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific, philosophical lifestyle, very specifically karma yoga, bhakti yoga, raja yoga, jnana yoga, which in general we can see, using English, of all the traditions of the world, trying to be simply ethical, devoted, meditative, or contemplative, and repeating this process to have various degrees of inner awakening. And life, creation rolls on. Take it seriously, but not too seriously. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful life. Lifetimes. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.